So the machines may have already taken over. I don't mean that robots are marching through the streets, terminating those they deem threats, nor do I mean that a hidden superintelligence is controlling us from the shadows, though the latter may be slightly more accurate than the former. What I am trying to say is that modern-day humans of the developed world are at least partially being controlled by our own digital creations. However, our creations are far from the sentient AI of science fiction. Let me start with an example. I am a student. I, allegedly, spend my time learning and doing coursework. In today's world, that means I open an app on my phone and it tells me where I need to go and when I need to be there. My class schedule is entirely digital and most likely created by some kind of bot. A program tells me where I need to go and when. If I disobey those lines of code, there are real-world negative consequences. These would include lower grades and, if I disobey too much, a failure to graduate. While the code was written by humans, humans aren't the ones telling me where to go. We, as a society, delegated that job to the machines. When I say that the machines are controlling my life, I don't mean in any forceful way. The machines in question have no will of their own, but that isn't really relevant. They still have real power in the world. They're like the weather, in that sense. When it storms, I go inside. The weather has power in the world even with no will of its own. The difference is that humans didn't create the weather. We may have made it worse, but that's a different story. Also, it's much more than just me and my life. If we stay with the school example for a moment longer, we can see that I'm not the only one being ordered around by lines of code. All students are. Not only that, but our professors are as well. They need to be in class just as surely as we do. Not only that, but the other school staff also need to build their schedules around when classes are. A classroom can't be cleaned or redecorated while class is in session. Even if the school's staff design their schedules by hand, they still need to work around the demands of the code telling me and my classmates where to go. It goes farther than just the schedules. Large portions of my classwork and exams are graded electronically. I submit my answers and immediately get back a percentage score. Most of the time, my professors never even see my work, unless it had to be written out by hand. It feels slightly extreme to say that the bots are deciding whether or not I can graduate, but to a certain degree it's true. If the code says I did a bad job on an assignment, it would have the exact same effect as if a human said it. The lifeless code, in some admittedly limited respects, has as much authority as my professors. If we move away from the school example, we can see just how wide-reaching this really is. Every time a computer is used in professional practice, more power is put in the non-existent hands of lifeless code. It's easy to see in automated factories where giant robot arms have taken people's jobs, but that's only a piece of the wider economic effects. I think the stock market is a terrifying example. Humans wrote code that buys and sells stocks. This happens constantly. Wall Street no longer has people on the floor yelling out buy, sell, buy, sell. Today it's mostly just a background for news anchors and movie sets. Most of today's large-scale trading happens through bots. The code decides what to buy and what to sell. This not only means that the machines have a hand in the economics of the world, but they also have the power to directly affect individual businesses. If a hidden factor changes, the bots could decide that a stock is no longer profitable, and the company could collapse where it otherwise may not have. We handed power to our creations, and we're seeing the results. Let's go back for a moment to a more human scale. The economy is important, yes, but I'm no economist. The way I see it, humans invented money, and now we're inventing new ways to play with it. Money was originally used as a tool to facilitate trade. If I was a blacksmith who wanted to buy a chicken from you, but you didn't need anything metalworked, I would be out of luck. But if we both agreed money was a good thing to own, I could just give you some of that for the chicken instead of a horseshoe. My point is that I don't understand the stock market. It's too big to conceptualize. However, the machines have also taken over the world on the day-to-day human scale. How many people do you know who make their money online? How many YouTubers or TikTokers or social media influencers do you watch every day? The only reason you're seeing them is that the bots have decided that their content would be good for you. They make their money because the bots have deemed their content worthy of your eyes. Like and subscribe. On a small side note, the bots also control which ads are shown with the digital content. They not only decide which content would be best for you, but also which products and services you're most likely to spend money on, and with that, they have a hand in the fate of the companies paying to advertise. If a bot decides not to show a company's ads, the company loses money. Outside of content creation, many people run online stores or have physical shops with an online presence. At this point, I'm sure you can see where this is going. If you're searching for a particular product online, Bots decide whose product you find. No one would be able to find online stores without bots, which gives them power over us. Again, I feel the need to stress that I do not believe that these bots are in any way sentient. They have power over us on a personal and societal level, but don't know it. Not only that, they can't know it. They are incapable of knowing anything unless it's directly coded into them, and an argument could be made that this doesn't count as knowledge at all. When they show us search results, they don't know what those results are. They just know that they're what we want to see when we plug in certain keywords. But the big question, the thing I've been building up to, is this. Does it matter? As much as I've thought about it, I still don't have a satisfactory answer. On one hand, power over human lives being taken out of human hands seems horrible. On the other, they make life easier. The modern world, for better or worse, wouldn't be what it is today without these bots. The rise of the machines, as I've outlined it, has given people jobs, it has allowed people to share their creative skills and talents with greater ease, and it has given us greater access to knowledge. Those are all undeniably good. As humanity has developed, we have always struggled to figure out where power should be placed. That is the core of government, after all. We've tried kings and queens, we've tried presidents and prime ministers, we've tried priests and theologians. But never before have we had the opportunity to shift power out of human hands without causing great collapse. In recent years, that process has already been happening largely unnoticed. So now what? Do we let the bots continue gaining more and more of a hold over our lives? Is it already too late to stop them? Do we try and fight back? Do we throw our computers into the sea and go back to a time before? Back to a time when we didn't have access to all the knowledge of the world at our fingertips? I don't have a good answer. All I can offer is my perspective, and I can't even confirm whether or not it's a good one. All I know to do for the time being is watch. If we go back to the conspiracy mindset I jokingly opened with, we must open our eyes to the truth. Keep living your life, but don't forget to look. Try and see who or what holds power. Maybe you can think of something I didn't. Maybe you can decide whether the rise of the machines was a blessing or a curse.